Why?
I tried to see if there was anybody who is on record as being a billionaire. I mean, I suspect that there are.
Yeah, they are.
But nobody's on record as being a billionaire.
Everyone wants to hide in these shops.
Yes. But if you travel, outside Ghana, you don't have to go very far to find a few billionaires. Nigeria has a few. And you realize that a lot of them have something in common. Their becoming a billionaire was deliberate. It was something that was created, orchestrated, assisted, facilitated by the state, because the state realized that there was a need for billionaires. We don't seem to have that going on here in Ghana.
And it baffles me, Kojo, but really baffles me as to why, the state isn't able to, kind of champion or support local indigenous businesses.
But there are also some who argue that when the state tries to do that, we stop them. We vilify them, make them out to be villains, corrupt, and we discourage the state from working with such individuals for them to become billionaires.
Well,
there are some who say that.
Yeah, it could be true, though. It could be true, but at the current circumstance, that should kind of, provide that, if I should say, the means for government to do that, because if currently you are battling how to, resuscitate your economy, and you tell me you want to, kind of sponsor one man supposedly to be a billionaire, really, of course, the citizens will definitely come at you. But the right
although, I mean, it
that
depends on how you are going to facilitate that person becoming a billionaire. It may not require handing over money to him. It may simply require giving him work to do, or her, giving him or her work to do, contracts and so forth, or even providing them with tax reliefs and things like that. All of those things could create billionaires.
Very sure.
But we don't do any of those things. And when we do, there are some who say, we criticize the state for doing that. We say it's corruption. There are also some who think, I mean, why should there even be billionaires? We already suffer. You want to pick one person and make him mega rich. For what? How do I benefit if there's a billionaire? So interesting conversation we're going to have about that today. But first, of course, we have to say thank you to Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping us find a way to get things done. And Millennium Insurance, your trustworthy partner. They brought us the 6 a.m. news. And for the Joy Business Report, we are grateful to Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Lovely morning, everyone. Time for the Joy Business Report. Coming up, Paris Club sets up partial creditor committee to kickstart debt restructuring talks with Ghana without China. Also in this bulletin, International Monetary Fund revises Ghana's average inflation forecast to 45.4% for this year, and crude oil prices to fall by 24.1% to an average of $73.1 a barrel in 2023. These and many more shortly. Grateful you could stay on. I am Pius, Kojo Backah. To our very first story. The Paris Club of International Creditors has set up a partial creditor committee to kickstart restructuring talks with Ghana. Now, this is after the March to talk about meeting with the government of Ghana to discuss its debt owed the club. From Washington, D.C., my colleague George Yafe has the rest of the story.
The creditor committee is being called partial because for now it doesn't include China, which was invited to the meeting as one of the single largest bilateral creditors that Ghana is indebted with more than $1.9 billion. The committee has agreed to start negotiations with Ghana on how the more than $5 billion debt should be handled. That is, whether they will be looking forward to cancelling these debts or review the payment terms, which could end up with the maturity being reviewed. However, China for now is not part of the initial deal that was reached in this meeting. This because of concerns as to how the debt owed, which is linked to private firms like the China Exim Bank, should be handled. However, there are indications that China is willing to embark on further engagement and return to the table, possibly participate in this committee in terms of how the debt should be handled. Sources say China has indicated its willingness and pledge that, in principle, it is committed to participating in Ghana's financing program, but one is not sure about the form and structure. Ghana only needs commitment from these bilateral creditors that they are committed to having their debts restructured, what some are describing as financing assurances. And with that, Ghana can go to the IMF board with its program request for possible approval.
My colleague George Yafe with that report from Washington, D.C., USA. Now, economist Professor Godfred Bobkin has advised government to redefine its bilateral relations to include what the country can trade off through policy credibility to help the country come out of its growing debt stock. Now, it contains that the status quo currently allows governments to overborrow and run to the International Monetary Fund for unsustainable solutions. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Bobkin said it is time for all stakeholders to make an input into government's economic policy to enhance homegrown solutions.
Talk about China. How much do we owe China? You can generate policy credibility either from your own homegrown policies that people will have confidence in it. When we talk about Malaysia, we talk about Singapore, we talk about South Korea, you check how many times have they been to the IMF and the last time they were at the IMF, and check how many times Ghana has been to the IMF. With some level of support from the IMF, yes, we all need it. You need to manage a trade-off of what support you need from external, what level of cooperation you need, and then what you need to do. Because the best helping hand Ghana can find is at the end of our own arm. It can never and will never come from the West. No.
Economist Professor Godfred Bobkin. More on the economy, and the International Monetary Fund has revised its average inflation forecast for Ghana to 45.4% this year. Well, this is in line with the high prices of foodstuffs and other commodities such as crude oil on the world market. Here is more.
According to the fund's April World Economic Outlook report, inflation in Ghana will end the year at 29.4%. However, in 2024, inflation will average 22.2% and end the year at 15%. The report further said global headline inflation has been declining since mid-2022 at a 3-month seasonally adjusted annualized rate. It's added a fall in fuel and energy commodity prices, particularly for the United States, Europe, and Latin America, has contributed to this decline. To dampen demand and reduce underlying core inflation, the fund pointed out that central banks around the world have been raising interest rates since 2021, both at a faster pace and in a more synchronous manner. Inflation stayed above 50% in Ghana in 2022.
Now, crude oil prices will slide by 24.1% to an average of $73.1 a barrel in 2023. That's according to the International Monetary Fund's April 2023 World Economic Outlook report. Now, this is from $96.4 it recorded in 2022. The fund also said oil prices will continue to fall in the coming years to $65.4 in 2026. Now, it explained that the uncertainty around the price outlook is elevated in part due to the uncertain rebound in China's growth as well as the energy transition. A better time to talk about the commodities now, and crude oil went up marginally to open trading at $85 a barrel. Gold is selling at $2,020 an ounce after going up by more than $16. Now, cocoa also opened trading at $2,903 a ton after inching up by $42. You're still listening to the Joy Business Report. Now, the Ghana Railway Development Authority says it is on course to develop the Western Railway line to revive the once vibrant manganese production in the region. According to its chief executive, Yao Owusu, production for the commodity has dropped significantly due to the bad road network and challenges in getting rail coaches to carry the commodity. He told Joy Business that there is a target to revive the line from Takoradi Port to Hunivali and then to Insota by 2024.
We also have on the western line, which is from Kumasi to Takoradi. We started from the southern part of Takoradi Port heading towards Huni Valley. Now, Huni Valley is, Nsuta Mines is between Huni Valley and Takoradi Port, and the goal is to get to Nsuta by 2024. As you know, we have large deposits of manganese, but currently the output is very low, but the transportation is being carried out by trucks, which is also destroying our roads. So the railway will boost the production of manganese at the Nsuta Mines, and at the same time to increase our revenues to be able to pay some of our debt, the money that we are borrowing to construct the lines from Takoradi Port to Huni Valley.
Yao Owusu is the chief executive of the Ghana Railway Development Authority. Now, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana has described as commendable Ghana's position in the latest ranking by the World Bank as the country with the largest electricity access rate in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2021, the nation recorded about 81% access to electricity rate. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Sulemana lauded the country for the feat, but says efforts must be put in place to sustain the growth.
Indeed, that is refreshing to hear, especially if you look at the global context where we are coming from. I mean, chalking this milestone is something that we should commend ourselves. We only need to make sure that whatever help us to, come to this far, I mean, we should be able to maintain that or sustain that. What is the global perspective here that I think Ghana is doing well? I mean, if you look at globally, this particular thing sits into what we call the SDG 7, that is Sustainable Development Goal 7, where it is stipulated that we need to have access to electricity and clean energy, clean sources of energy.
Dr. Yusuf Suleiman is an energy strategist. Now, Polytank Ghana Limited is poised to give customers access to strong tanks to aid in the storage of water. It has therefore introduced the new Sumo Super Tank to its range of water storage tanks. According to the executive director of Muhinani Group, Ashok Muhinani, the new tank is durable and has features that will ensure the longevity of the tanks. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the new tank.
This is a new technology, and this is a 3-layer which adds extra additives and health preservatives to give you a different dimension to the existing tanks on the market. So it's a different tank completely, it's a different technology, and you've got 3 layers to help with the various features we highlighted.
So the idea is that there are 3 advantages of multi-layer tank. Number one, the inside the tank is white color that you see. The white color has the antifungal and microbial count retarder, which makes water more potable and fresh for the longer duration of time. The outer layer has UV stabilizers, which protect the tank from the ultraviolet rays of the sun, hence the longevity of the tank life.
Executive Director of Muhinani Group, Ashok Muhinani there. Now, Ghana's unemployment rate hit 13.4% in 2021, up from 6% in 2010. That's according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service. Now, close to 33% of Ghanaians aged 15 to 24 are said to be unemployed. But human resources advisory firm Aldelea Ghana is helping job seekers to find work in various fields. The Joy Business Van meets up with Blankson Bedu Boapong, who is spearheading that agenda here in Ghana.
Hello, Joy Business Van. My name is Blankson Boapong. I'm the business coordinator of Aldelea Ghana. Welcome to our office. You first need to create your profile on our platform, which is called Ariba Jobs. Then you show us your strengths, what you are good at, and we have trainees on this platform, soft skills trainees, about 120 of them, that you can take to upskill yourself. So when we see such a profile like that on our platform, and we see a job desk, mind you, our platform has artificial intelligence. So if you don't qualify for the job, per the job description that we have posted on the platform, you wouldn't even see it for you to apply. So the target will be to attract only people who are qualified for the job. Today we've recruited over 300 people and still counting. We believe that Ghana as a whole has an unemployability rate, and we are trying to reduce this figure by finding people jobs. And the reason why I love this job is you are providing food for people, because once people get to work, they'll be able to provide for their families.
And full episode of the Joy Business Van airs at 1 p.m. right after the Joy Business Report and 5 p.m. on Business Live on the Joy News channel. Quickly to the currency market, and the cedi began this week going for 11 cedis, 10 pesos to the dollar on the forex or retail market. It is still selling at 13 cedis, 90 pesos to the pound. It is, however, trading at 11 cedis, 90 pesos to the euro. And that's it for the Joy Business Report. Kojo Yankson.
Me.